Esse jogo aqui, ele é bem conceito, ele ficou famosinho em alguns círculos durante algum tempo. Então, vamos lá. The end is never the end. Se eu tiver em cima da legenda, eu mexo aqui. Não, ele é rapidinho, ele é tipo umas 2 horas de jogo só. Qualquer coisa eu saio da frente. O jogo é 2011, sim, ele é de bastante tempo atrás. Tá carregando. Ó, tá carregando. Vou botar meu mouse aqui pra eu ver se andou. Ah. Ó, andou. Ó, tem que segurar aqui que eu tô flutuando. Tem que me segurar aqui. Você se sentiu velho porque você lembra quando ele foi lançado? Eu também. Me sentindo velha. Mas eu vou voltar aqui pra onde eu tava, pra não cair. Só pra não ficar... Eu vou ver como tá a legenda e tal. Será que tá em inglês? Mas eu botei em português de Portugal. Vamos esperar alguém falar alguma coisa e a gente vê se tá em português. Dá pra andar assim, né? Tá, eu tô aqui num... Faltou uma cutscene? Eu dei skip? Não. Ah, tava click to skip. I'm stupid. De novo. De novo. Eu achei que era tipo assim, click to start. Eu li errado, desculpa. Droga! Então eu vou ter que desinstalar o jogo. Eu vou ter que sair e desinstalar o jogo. Vou ter que ir na pasta e deletar o save. De novo. New game. Agora vai. Vocês não estão vendo o jogo, pronto. Iniciar jogo. Ó.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
E tá em inglês.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427.
Tá sem legenda. Eu não vou conseguir traduzir pra vocês, é muito rápido. Áudio. Aqui. Legendas. Vou botar closed caption, que eu gosto de ler. Ok. Recomeçar jogo. Stanley was a... Alt F4.
Stanley simply couldn't.
Ah, pronto, agora sim. Você para de implicar comigo. Paciência. Começo chaotic, né? Terceiro save. Stanley was...
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on the keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Ok. Então, Stanley was an employee e ele usava esse PCzinho aqui. Eu vou sair então da minha sala. O narrador falou tipo assim, Stanley left his office, mas eu não tô aqui. E se eu falar que não vou. Ah, vamos lá. O que tem aqui? Eu não sei o que fazer, né? Vou continuar andando, vamos ver se tem alguém aqui.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Nada tá me mandando fazer coisa.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Vou chegar um pouquinho pro lado, porque eu tô tapando um pouquinho da legenda só. Ele tá sozinho aqui, Stanley. Começou o home office e ele não ficou sabendo, pois é, né? Quando você dorme no busão e acorda na última estação, assim, sozinho. Ninguém tá vendo, ninguém sabe o que é. Não consigo ver. Eu ando rapidão, hein? Tenho que mudar isso, tô andando muito rápido. Ele não se tocou que era sábado hoje. Onde é a sala de reuniões? Assustador, né? Blaze it. Eu tô fazendo devagar, eu tô só tipo apertando assim. Pois é, tem muitos números, ele é o 427. Caraca, o office é gigante, imagina lavar isso aqui. Tem como botar... Tem como ele andar mais devagar? Homem rapidão. Isso aqui é sala de reunião, talvez? Não, mas tem uma coisa escrita aqui. Gráficos. É o pad da Petrobras ali no centro.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Você não manda em mim. Eu vou nesse aqui.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Segue ele primeiro? Tá, mas eu só queria saber o que acontecia se, tipo... Eu queria saber o que acontecia caso eu não fosse pro lugar que ele mandou, sabe? Mas eu vou seguir o que ele disse. Nossa, legal aqui, hein?
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Gostei aqui da sala. Vou tomar uma coquinha geladíssima.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
Nossa, grossinho você.
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left.
Uau, peraí, cara, eu só tô olhando aqui o que tem aqui. Tá bom, fui embora, eu saí já.
He had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
Okay, first door to your left. É, o Stanley era estranho e todo mundo foi embora, porque ninguém gostava mais dele.
and so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Eita, tem um negócio aqui. Cara, tem um botão vermelho piscando aqui. Não, eu vou seguir aqui o que o homem tá falando. Ele é a voz do além, né? Ele deve estar certo. Claramente o botão tá pedindo pra ser apertado. Mas vamos ver o que tem aqui.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Meeting room. Não altere esse cronograma sem consultar o coordenador do quadro branco. Tem aqui só umas coisas, tipo assim... Financial Panic Meeting. We broke Wednesday. Tem aqui, quartas-feiras nós somos pobres. Reunião de pânico financeiro. Só umas brincadeiras aqui. Festa. A empresa tá indo bem, né? Vamos ver o que tem aqui. Amanhã. O que fazer amanhã? Terminar as coisas que não foram feitas hoje. Não, terminar as coisas que estavam escritas na agenda, no cronograma e não foram terminados. Escrever o cronograma de amanhã. Pensar. Refletir. O futuro foi ontem. Amanhã é agora. Análise. Ok. Objetivos. Pedir mais financiamento para Research and Development de uma nova máquina de café. Tirar o Chris do closet do zelador. Gostei, assim, é só... Quem tocou na minha mesa? Sinergizar com a pelada.
Stanley just stood there doing
Peraí,
nothing at all. He seems to think I have nothing better to do with my time than to sit around and describe every fascinating little detail of his inability to do anything. This is why Stanley and I are on such good terms.
O narrador sassy. Opa. Papel. Tem bastante informação aqui pra explorar. Nossa. Precisamos de mais water coolers. Mais water coolers. Heaters. Os gráficos precisam ser mais descolados para apelar para os adolescentes. Encontrar adolescentes para colocar na categoria de adolescentes. That's funny. Those are funny. Infelizmente não tá traduzido, né? Teria sido mais divertido se tivesse traduzido aqui. Pra não precisar fazer traduções on the spot pra vocês. Jogue alguma coisa no lixo de ideias. Vamos ver aqui. Ei, peraí, eu tô lendo. Como usar PowerPoint para fingir que está tudo bem? Todo mundo é único. E você é o mais único de todos. Volta o slide aí, professor. Tô lendo aqui ainda. Número de slides nesse slide. Gráficos e slides. Esse jogo é uma sátira. Pois é. Tudo isso aqui é um monte de piada com a cultura corporativa de empresas. Quem trabalhou sabe que é very good desse jeito. Please no more charts. I'm begging. Pare. Minuto de apreciação do chefe. Na sua worksheet de coisas, escreva 20 coisas que você gosta sobre seu chefe. Como... Quais são seus sonhos para o futuro? Mitoses. Transcender. Sucesso. Metamorfose. Uma pele bonita. Spring Break. Como não ser demitido? Talk less. Smile more. Não seja demitido. Enfim, vamos continuar. Broom Closet. Tem que tirar o Chris daqui de dentro. Chris? Are you there?
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Tá bom, deixa eu só ver se o Chris tá aqui. Ele não tá aqui, né? Então vai embora. Boa noite, boa noite.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
O Chris deu no pé, não sei como. Será que é aqui? Não, sobe mais um. Nossa, bonito aqui, veludo, carpete. Banheiro executive fechado. Eu desobedeci o narrador, mas ele me zoou. Aí eu fiquei chateada, resolvi seguir o que ele diz. Parece o cabaré do Majma, na real. Eu quero apertar botões no teclado do chefe. Quem é aqui? Caraca. Olá.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Atrás do teclado do chefe. Teclado? Atrás do teclado.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs.
I did
Trying
not.
to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
Dois,
2845.
Calma.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code.
Sabe que eu não gosto quando brigam comigo.
Amazing. He
Amazing.
stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Onde que abriu? Ah, ali. Eita. Eita, entrando no escuro. Opa, tem um botão aqui, eu vou apertar o botão. Cara, eu voltava pra minha sala e continuaria lá apertando botões. Olha aí o botão, devia ter apertado antes, né? Tá carregando.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Tem alguns typos, né, na agenda. Quer dizer que Stanley, ele está se perguntando por que estamos aqui, para onde vamos, de onde viemos.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Não, também fica... Mind Control Facility. Escape. Tem Escape!
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, The truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
What? Yeah, I don't want to die de jeito violento.
Stanley thought better of it and realized he simply had too much to live for.
Então, né? Vamos para as instalações de controle da mente. Foi ameaçada pelo narrador. Gostei do quão meta o jogo é. Achei legal. E aí, tô aqui. Faço o que agora? Aperta o
The lights
botão.
rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Yeah. Vamos lá. A sala do Matrix, né? Tuk, tuk, tuk. Vou apertar. Um jogo de apertar botões, né? Uou!
Their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Ah, mas não tem ninguém, né? O que será? Aí, botão eu vou não. Já volto. Fiquem aí vendo os monitores. Voltei. Coloquei. Tomei aqui o remédio. Digo, é sublingual, né? Tá embaixo da minha língua. Então, vamos lá.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Não, a inglês realmente tá pegando no rosto, que hoje ela tá rebelde.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Não sei.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Controle do... Digo, status do Mind Control offline. A galera meteu o pé. E aí, Cat, beleza? Como é que eu vou destruir os controles? Não sei, eu gostaria. Peraí, tem 5 aqui. Que é isso? Mind controls idle. Waiting input. System power on.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Off. Obrigada aí, Gelinho. Obrigada pelo resub. Ih, desliguei. Desculpa.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Okay.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
É tipo Truman, a gente não sabe. Mas tem... Bebe da fonte desse tipo de... Aí começou de novo. Ele era o prisioneiro dele mesmo. Eu vou pegar o controle, ver se eu fico menos enjoada. Acho que eu fiz a primeira ending, pois é, eu também acho. Então tem que descobrir aí pra onde todos foram, qual é a verdadeira... Quantos finais que são? Nem sei. Eu não sei nada sobre o jogo. Nada, absolutamente nada. Eu sei tanto quanto vocês. Ué, tu dá pra jogar no teclado do mouse? Well... Talvez eu tenha que botar o DS4. Pera aí. Já vou fazer isso. Só pra ver se meu jogo... Compreensível. Tenha um ótimo dia. Eu já abri o jogo. Abri o DS4. DS4. Pá. Eu fiz 2 achievements. Qual foi? Cadê a música? Tululu? Cadê a música?
of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Bom, agora a gente desobedece ele.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Desliguei o PC pra economizar energia. Se empurrar o analógico devagar, ele se mexe, tipo... Mas não. Então, vamos explorar aqui o prédio. Bora curiar tudo. Ler a caneca. Cadê? I like work just like okay, my boss. Não, I like work, I just hate my boss. Não, você não tem que abrir seu... Você não pode odiar seu
went
boss.
around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Well, okay. I like dike. Você gosta de represas? Represas não, outra coisa de ar. Já foi no cortinho. Sem spoiler! Eu vou descobrir as coisas todas aos poucos. Me perdi. E... Blaze it. Trancada. Bom, eu tô desligando os PCs, né? Pra, tipo, poder economizar energia. Dick, isso. Ih, alguém derrubou um negócio aqui. Assim, eu nem fumo maconha, mas você passar por 420 pra falar Blizzard é crime. Ou roubar os PCs, né? Eu quero entrar aqui. Ver o que tem ali no 4B3.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Agora eu vou tentar entrar nesse aqui. Na porta da esquerda, que nem ele mandou. Ele quebrar esse vidro assim. But Stanley is a nice guy. A graça é ir tentando ver o que acontece. Tudo trancado. De novo aqui a sala com as coisas engraçadinhas.
Single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Trancada a porta, trancou depois de mim. Faz um pouco de terror. Cara, assim... Work harder. Harder worker. Não, quando eu vim pela direita, eu andei um monte. Até... Opa! O que as pessoas querem? Coisas. Happy feelings. Alguém riscou e falou: Mike James, você tá demitido. Money, more money. Coisas, mas também dinheiro. Mais coisas? Gráficos. Gráficos sobre coisas e dinheiro. Please no more charge, I'm begging, stop! Essas caixas aqui com essa cor diferentona. A melhor forma de fazer todos os finais é ir mudando o último ramo encontrado. Agora eu vou entrar no... Aliás, o último ramo encontrado, nem sei qual é o último ramo encontrado. Talvez uma das... De não desligar o... Não desligar o controle. Vai apertar o on-off, exatamente.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's
Aí tinha o
office.
escape também. Ah, mas eu vou fazendo o que dá na telha. Vamos ver o que tem aqui. Pra baixo. Cheguei no inferno aqui. No inferno corporativo. Uma reunião eterna. Que poderia ter sido uma mensagem no WhatsApp.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. Yes. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one.
Acorde, Stanley.
Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine.
Can't wake up.
I am okay.
Oh não. Obrigada aí pelos subgifts, Budsky. Muito obrigada.
Please, someone wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss, I have an office, I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real, I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Can't wake up.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
What?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy, this much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better.
É o true ending aí
Then she
de...
remembered the meeting she had scheduled
Ele era
for
apenas
that
maluco.
day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Salve, salve. The end is never the end. Ok. Can't wake up mesmo. Parece que eu feito no Gmod. Bom, tá na época
All of his
mesmo.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement? Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition.
Ok. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
I have to say, I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble cause. Perhaps 50 clicks will do it. Yes, almost certainly 50 clicks.
21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Não dá pra clicar mais rápido. 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Descontou. 30 e... O áudio tá pegando no controle, né? Por alguma razão. Tulum.
It's something. Valiant effort. I want to see some hustle, Stanley. I want to see commitment, a willingness to go all the way, no matter what. Why don't you go put 20 clicks into door number 417?
Ok. 417. Caraca! Negócio de mau contato UI. F cabo. Nossa, 100%. O fio venceu. É Man vs Machine. Man 0. Machine 20. Cara, tem outro cabo aqui. Cadê? Tem outro cabo aqui. Voltou? Não. Fim cabo. Deixa eu ir com o mouse aqui. Peraí. Eu vou terminar aqui com o mouse pra não ter que fechar o negócio de novo. Ele falou 417. Vamos lá. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Oh, great. Now, go click a few times on door 437.
Acho que 437 era pra cá. Não? Me perdi. Não, é pra lá. Aqui. 1, 2, 3.
Excellent. I think we're getting somewhere. Now, door 415. Let's give it 10 clicks or so.
Caraca. Deu algum achievement? Não, ele tá só me trollando mesmo. Agora 415.
Now, back to door number 437.
Ó, é melhor que alguma coisa aconteça.
Let's see. How about you click on, well, I don't know, the copy machine?
The copy machine? Nada, tá bravo porque eu criei um
All
achievement.
right, back to room 417. I'm really feeling it now. I think we're getting somewhere.
No. Can't wake up.
Okay, now go climb on employee 419's desk.
Eu consigo subir na 419. Como é que eu subo?
Yes! This is great! You're putting it all on the line, Stanley. I like that. All right, let's keep it up. Go give me a few clicks on door 416.
Falou o quê? 416, né? As portas que ele não fala, vamos ver o que acontece. Nada acontece. Vamos na 416, que era... Aqui.
We've almost got it! Now the copy machine, do that one again!
Quando eu crescer, eu quero ser narrador também. Eu quero ser narrador de jogo conceitual.
Finish it off, Stanley! 5 clicks on door 430!
1, 2, 3, 4, 5!
Yes! We did it! Oh, wow. That felt amazing. Oh, you really earned it, Stanley. Nothing
Yes.
could hold you back. Yes, I'm very proud of how far we've come today. Just think, only a few minutes ago, you believed an achievement was worth 5 little clicks.
Verdade.
Really now, what were you thinking?
É, agora eu sei que uma conquista vale muito mais do que isso. Eu consegui uma conquista? Consegui. Agora eu consegui um achievement que é tipo Welcome back, quit the game and then start it again. Quer dizer que eu fechando e abrindo o jogo eu consigo uma conquista. Legal. Agora continuando aqui a minha saga. Ah, assim, sinceramente eu não senti muita diferença com o controle, não. Não sei porque o Vonal bateu ou o quê. Agora eu vou pra onde? Já desci. Tá, quando você desce, você vai pro inferninho, né?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Tem um achievement pra jogar 5 anos o jogo? Você tá esperando passar 5 anos pro seu achievement? Caraca! Poxa, só daqui a 5 anos então eu vou ganhar... Poxa... Muda a data do PC. Ó o cheater.
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Ó os ladrão
But
de
eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first
conquista.
open door on his left.
Tá, a primeira coisa que eu fiz foi entrar naquela porta. Então agora eu vou seguir em frente em vez disso.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
O narrador brigou comigo, ele falou que eu sou tão ruim seguindo instrução que eu deveria ser demitido já há muitos anos. Tem um cartão aqui. Tomei esporrinho do narrador porque ele não... Dá pra subir aqui? Aviso. Do not jump for the cargo lift while in motion. Will cause death. Se eu pular aqui.
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Não me zoou. Good
Stanley knew
job.
the office layout like the back of his hand. It was only a matter of time before he found the others, wherever they were. Just a matter of time.
Ah, tá bom então. Agora eu vou tentar ir lá de novo e não vou cair. Wake me up.
When
Wake me up
Stanley came
inside.
to a set of two open... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Vamos lá.
Wow. Yes, this room. But
Agora segue
eager
em
to get
frente
back
e
to
não se
business,
joga.
Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Vamos lá.
Stanley was so bad at following
É,
directions.
Stanley,
it's
ele
incredible
é
he wasn't
um
5
homem
years ago.
independente. Ele não precisa seguir nenhuma instrução de ninguém.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Quem é her? Minha esposa?
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
A Morena. Morena, estou aqui, Morena. Morena, tus olhos cor de mel. Moreno? Ah!
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out
Sem
to her.
legenda.
If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Se você consegue confiar em alguém novamente, atende o telefone.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha! Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
A legenda sumiu por alguma razão, assim, quem jogou não chegou até essa parte. Mas o narrador falou, tipo assim, ah, você realmente achou que você tinha uma esposa? Eu tava só tentando fazer você perceber umas coisas aí. E aí quando eu cheguei aqui, a esposa falou, tipo assim, ah, Stanley, entra aqui, eu estou fazendo um pãozinho.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Essa é uma história muito triste sobre a morte de um cara chamado Stanley.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Ele falou... A mesma coisa que ele falou no começo.
Look at him there, pushing
Pronto,
buttons.
voltou a
Doing
legenda.
exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
Aperte 8.
But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Podia ter apertado outra tecla. Infelizmente eu faço o que as pessoas me mandam, né? Eu faço o que me mandam. Poxa.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Aperte K para passar tempo com os amigos.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
Aperta aí, gente. 7.
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind control.
Eram os spoilers aí do
Down
jogo.
another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions, and down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
The Stanley Parable. There's a baby
It
then.
was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one.
Qual é a vida real? Eu nem sei mais. Cadê minha esposa, manequim? Sumiu.
And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Eu não vou apertar. Não vou apertar, vou ficar aqui. Vamos ver o que o narrador tem a dizer. Ah, o dedo coça pra apertar, né? As pessoas me mandam fazer coisa, eu quero fazer. Eu vou apertar.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Aperte 7 para não questionar nada.
I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Eu apertei o botão sem querer. Well, você não manda em mim, eu vou apertar se eu quiser.
Stanley knew the office layout like the back of his hand. It was only a matter of time before
Se eu sair correndo, ele lê mais rápido.
Just a matter of time.
Parece, pelo menos. Bom, vamos.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way
Agora eu
to
vou
the
fazer
meeting
outra
room, and
coisa.
Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge
Vou
first,
voltar ali
just
onde
to
eu
admire
tava.
it.
E tentar pular
The
numa
lounge was
plataforma que
sublime,
tinha ali.
a work of art.
Alguém falou pra fazer
But
isso e
eager to
realmente
get
dá
back
pra
to
ver que
business,
tinha uma
Stanley
plataforma
took the
pulável.
first open door on his left.
Vamos ver se eu consigo fazer isso. Não sei pular.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Tá bom. Assim.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here.
Eu vou
I'm not
subir e
sure
eu vou
you
cair
really
aqui.
are not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time.
Assim, ó.
There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in
Desculpa.
control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform.
Obrigada aí,
and
Duckpia.
plunged to
Obrigada aí
his
pelo
death.
resub. Thank
Good
you.
job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Droga. Pulei errado. Eita. Quem sujou o escritório?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh, quem deixou a impressora rodando, né? Pô, poluiu aqui um monte. A copiadora vai dar maior
No
trabalho.
matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Vou sair correndo e voltar pra tentar pular ali de novo. É época de eleição, né? São aqueles santinhos eleitorais que estão... que jogaram aqui no chão tudo.
When Stanley came to a
De
set
novo,
of 2
vamos
open,
tentar
this
pular
was
na
not the correct
plataforma.
way
Vocês
to the
viram que foi
meeting room,
quase,
and
né? Mas
Stanley
aí eu
knew it
acabei
perfectly well.
me
Perhaps he
precipitando.
wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Eu caí.
Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open
Eu olhei,
door
tava
on his left.
escrito... Bom, esqueci agora, mas eu cheguei a olhar. Eu desliguei, porque pra economizar
Stanley
energia.
was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Essa parte é melhor.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong
Stanley é tão
foot
ruim
here.
seguindo instruções
I'm
que é
not
um
your
milagre
enemy,
que ele
really,
tenha
I'm
sido
not.
demitido
I
anos
realize
atrás.
that investing your trust in someone
Olá.
else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's
Então,
someone you've been
mas eu
neglecting,
caí, ó.
Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
Não. Você não manda em mim. Danger. Danger everywhere. Assim, no final que eu obedeço tudo, eu acho a liberdade entre aspas, né? Eu vou pro... aquele lugar que parece desenho de céu de testemunho de Jeová.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
He did not. Eu vou aqui.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
Não.
I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
Droga, agora não tem mais nenhuma porta, beleza. Droga, tá bom, vamos lá.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're
tinha
doing right
porta pra
now.
trás, sorry.
Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think,
Mas eu fui
well, I think I have a
tapeada.
solution. Here.
Não tem problema não, a
Let me
gente vai
show
pra azul depois. Confusa. E aqui? O que tem aqui?
What do we want? What are we looking for?
Que isso? Que diabo é isso? Ah.
Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
A gente transcendeu aqui e ficou no... Oh... E se eu cair daqui? Não consigo. Uou! Sabe o que é isso, né? É aqueles protetores de tela do Windows Media Player. Que tinha uns negócios assim, sabe?
No, wait. Where are you going? Oh no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
Vou machucar não, mãe. Eu uso o corrimão.
Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me.
Ai, tadinho. Eu odeio tanto o narrador a ponto de tirar isso dele.
No! Oh, thank God you lived. You had me worried there for a moment. Now, can we please get back to the other room?
No.
No, what are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this?
De novo.
Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do that for me? Yes, perhaps you can. Perhaps you finally see what I'm talking about.
Oh.
I know you'll see that we can't be happy if we leave this place. You can see that, can't you?
Bye.
No, perhaps not.
Bye.
My God, is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly?
Sorry.
Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along.
Tadinho.
But I guess that was too much to ask.
Oh, deu dó agora,
You
hein?
wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours.
Oh, tô fazendo um cara infeliz. Tô triste agora, tadinho. Só porque eu tô fazendo, tipo assim, só out of spite. Bye.
Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
No. F.
A soft wind blew outside and perhaps rain started, and if it did, it stopped shortly
Foi triste,
after.
hein?
Stanley hoped that he would one day see weather.
Os papéis sumiram. Tem um Excel aqui. Awaiting input. Ué. Ué. Não consigo. Input received. Username access. Eu vou ver as portas de novo. Vou tentar fazer.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Eu queria abrir. Fecha a porta, sim.
Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach, giddy in a way he had never known before. Was it this room? A connection between the two? Could a man love a room? I mean, truly, truly, deeply, madly love.
Eu posso ficar aqui. Eu vou sentar, não consigo sentar. Mas eu poderia sentar.
Yes, really, really worth it.
Boa noite, pessoal chegando. Estamos aqui jogando o jogo Conceitão.
Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Jogo Conceitão. Vou voltar pra cá, tentar pular de novo.
It's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Fazer aquele esqueminha. Tem uma coisa lá embaixo, né? Não sei se eu consigo, acho que não sei se eu consigo pra ali. Pra eu fugir de caminhão.
I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you.
Vou fugir de caminhão.
There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley.
Ela roubou meu caminhão.
What? Really?
Pô, cara, esse remédio é bonzão, chama Vonau, V-O-N-A-U. É anti-enjoo e funciona muito bem. Ele que me salvou nos residentes. Eu vou fazer o negócio da porta agora. Fazer o esquema. Ué.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
No, Stanley did not.
Perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
No, he did not.
I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
No.
All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you.
Ok. Pra conseguir.
You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees?
Skill trees.
Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design and you can give me some feedback.
Okay.
There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
Vamos ver o que tem aqui nessa sala nova, sala laranja. É vontade de entrar numa outra dessas, né? Eu vou entrar nessa aqui, só de fazer que é diferente.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
Vou dar feedback não, vamos embora. Vamos lá. Então, gostei.
Aha! You see, I knew I was onto something. Where do these flashes of inspiration come from? How did I know the game needed a third door? Well, it's instinct mostly.
É
A
verdade.
calling in your gut. I really couldn't say where the idea came from, except that I felt it in my soul. You can't teach that, Stanley. Don't even try. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version.
Okay.
And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
The Stanley Parable Worldwide Leaderboard. Ah, legal, pô. Sabia que 20% dos players skipou a intro sequence? Only the worst 3% of players chose the blue door? Quanto tempo demora pra você escolher a porta certa? Compete against others para o melhor. Why not ask some friends for help? Erro. A lista de amigos está vazia. 98% dos players são mais bonitos que o Stanley. Thank you. O que eu sou pior? Thank you. Well, eu vou pra outra porta. Ué.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors?
Aham.
Honest answers, please.
Eu fiquei super motivada quando eu descobri que tinha um ranking.
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up.
Ok, o narrador tem um joguinho que ele quer que eu teste. Vamos lá.
In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game.
Very
All about the
impressive.
desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the
Deus.
demands of family life. I think
Obrigada
the
pelo
authors
sub,
will
Delphi.
really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective?
Cara, tem que deixar ligado por 4 horas. Ai, meu Deus! Se eu deixar o bebê pegar fogo.
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for
verdade.
me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game?
Okay.
Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here? Yes.
Próximo
This
jogo.
seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
Qual é o próximo jogo? Se você jogar por 4 horas, realmente tem um final diferente.
At last, the one thing you've always desired. A game I had absolutely nothing to do with. But is it enough? Tell me that, Stanley. Will it ever be enough? Well, I'll say this. I'm done making things for you. From now on, I will only create to fulfill a greater artistic purpose. Watch this, Stanley. I'm going to build a house.
Eu também quero jogar.
This will go here, no, here, and then. Let's see, what does it need?
também quero jogar.
Yes, of course, and just to finish it all off,
Grande Mine.
it's complete. I made this, Stanley. Look at it. Gaze upon my work of art and feel ashamed at your own inadequacy.
Eu também
But you've
poderia
only seen it from the outside. You've only gotten half the experience.
finalmente jogar
Step
o Mine
inside
aqui.
and make yourself comfortable.
Ok, vamos entrar aqui na casinha dele. Não consigo entrar. I'm too
Isn't it
fat.
grand? Isn't it perfect? It could only be better if... Wait, that's it. We must rebuild it out of diamond.
Diamonds?
Everything. Yes, yes, yes. Come along, Stanley. We have to go mining.
Mining? Ok. Vou ter que jogar. Vou ter que fazer aqui a mineração. Obrigada aí, Lucky. Obrigada pelo sub.
Oh my. It looks like it's going to get
Eu não sabia que minha experiência de Minecraft ia começar assim. Desde a primeira vez ia ser assim. Eu não tenho luz não, man. Sorry. Vai ter que ser no escuro mesmo. Cuidado com o creeper, eu nem sei nem o que é isso.
Oh, no, 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 no. This is far more open-ended than I had in mind. I'm looking for something more narrow and linear. Something that makes you feel utterly irrelevant. This won't do at all. 1 out of 5. Even the diamonds couldn't save this one. Okay, new game.
Não! Eu tava jogando. Ele falou que o jogo era muito aberto e que ele queria alguma coisa mais fechada e linear. Ah, me dá outra coisa então pra gente jogar.
Yes, I don't even know what this game
no
is,
way.
but I love it. You, trapped in a glass box with no way out, listening to me talk. Oh, it's inspired. I couldn't have done it any better myself. What is this game even supposed to be? I can't figure it out. Okay, now I'm curious. Let's go find out what the hell this is.
Cadê minha porta? Vamos lá. Abre a porta pra mim. Vamos lá. Eu não sou...
It's a puzzle. Critical thinking, Stanley. Your forte.
Very impressive.
Ah, caraca, achei que tivesse sido no jogo. Boa.
Genius.
Ótimo timing.
No, actually, you know what? I think that's plenty.
Hey.
I really don't care much to see you stumble through any more of these games, and I highly doubt you're any wiser for the experience. Which is why, rather than continue to waste my time, I'm just going to leave you here. You can pretend you've beaten the game if it makes it any richer for you, but as for me, I've had enough.
Hey.
So, why don't you get cozy in this room, and if you have any grand revolutionary ideas for the perfect video game, you can just sit there and let it ball up inside you for all eternity. I don't need your advice. I don't need your ratings. And I certainly don't need the validation of a man whose job is to push buttons. I think I'll just go about my business, making meaningful cultural contributions to the world. And perhaps every now and then,
Gross.
I'll think back to a man named Stanley who was objectively wrong in every decision he ever made. The thought won't last long. Goodbye, Stanley. Good luck with your work. And I sincerely hope that everyone lives happily ever after.
Vou entrar aqui na... Wow, rude. Eu vim parar no jogo bugado. Aqui, ó. Ceiling light. Ceiling light. Caí pra fora do mapa, pois é. Please. Entrei aqui no... Os bastidores do jogo.
Tylko jedno w głowie mam, koksu 5 gram.
Caraca, que final complicado. Eu tô com medo. Eu tenho medo desse tipo de coisa. Eu tenho medo de estar fora do jogo. Ei, meu... Posso apertar botões? Não. Minha salinha, pô. Não tem nada aqui. Não consigo passar por cá? Não sei, não consigo ver nada. Alguém liga a luz aí, man. Virou jogo de terror, né? Pois é. Eu tô nesse mundo aqui que tá... Não
I wonder
deve...
what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice. And if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
Cara, que eu fiquei... O narrador me deixou presa no mundo unfinished. Por toda a eternidade. Até que eu me arrependesse de não ter jogado o jogo do bebê por 4 horas. Creepy! Aquele... É o Izanagi, pois é. Eu fui preso no Izanagi do narrador. Aquele cenário da época que era um mod de
I can't wait to
Half-Life.
tell this story to my co-workers, Stanley thought. How amusing they'll find it. Oh, won't we all just laugh and laugh at the time I thought everyone had gone missing? No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Tá fazendo barulho, alguma coisa? Tem um barulho, né? Eu tô tentando achar de onde é que é. Parece chuva, né? Não sei. Pipoca. Biboga.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Obrigada aí, Rodrigo. Teve sabido do Renan também. Muito obrigada, Renan. Não sei, esqueci de alguém. Eu tava preso no mundo que não tem... Não tinha terminado a versão.
When Stanley came to a
Eu
set
já
of
fiz
2
todas
open doors,
dessa...
he entered the door on his left.
Tudo que entra na porta direita. Só falta esperar 4 horas. Acho que eu já fiz tudo aqui. Agora eu vou entrar por aquela porta
This was
esquerda.
not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
Desci o elevador?
Perhaps he
Não,
wanted
ainda
to
não.
stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Da parte... Não, ainda não. Peraí. Eu vou fazer isso aqui primeiro.
The lounge was
Vou
grand,
descer agora.
majestic. Perhaps, but eager to get back to business,
Aqui,
Stanley
ó.
took the first open door on his left.
Aqui. Eu não fui escape ainda não. Eu vou
And
aqui,
so he
assim, primeiro.
detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back
Eu
on
vou entrar
track.
aqui.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
Cara, nem sei onde que eu tô. Espero que eu consiga pegar meu caminhão.
Oh, no.
Hey!
No, it's to the right, my mistake.
Ei! Pô, fechou a porta na minha cara.
No, not the right.
Ei!
Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Ó o perdido.
Let's see, we went down right, left, down,
Ó o
left,
perdido.
right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Ok. Deixei ele confuso. Eita, vim aqui pra cima.
No. This isn't right at all. We're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay.
Ele não gosta
From
quando
the
eu faço...
top.
Ei, ele não gosta quando eu faço as coisas diferentes do que ele quer que eu faça. Aff.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Boa noite, boa noite.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
Bom,
Perhaps
beleza,
he had
eu já
simply missed a memo.
fiz aquele de descer. Obrigada aí, Kaito. Obrigada pelo sub. Thank you. Essa aqui não tem ruídos, né? Pois é. Provavelmente tinha alguma coisa que só de vez em quando reseta, dá pra...
When Stanley...
Hey!
Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere or...
Fiz nada
Hold
não.
on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay then, it's an adventure. Come, Stanley, let's find the story.
Eu não assumo esse... Obrigada aí pelo sub, Space Ghost. A parada do Stanley. Eu estou aqui na parada do Stanley. Ih, me perdi já. Vem aqui, não sei.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Ei!
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Vamos tentar de novo. Homem, reserva direito. Ei!
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why
Okay.
don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Beleza. Cara, quebrei. Desgroup. Tem nada aqui não. Tem só esse aqui que não tava assim antes. Economizar energia. Economizar energia. Olha os PCs, eu desliguei.
Aha!
Hey.
I knew we'd missed something. The story. Here it comes. No, wait. Never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Ok, de novo. Eita, vim pra um lugar horroroso. Credo.
Now this... Well, I'll be honest. I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct?
Chegou no reset, né?
Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations!
Thank you.
I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh,
Yay, thank you.
no, I don't
Hey.
feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time, I have to restart.
Não, eu tinha vencido. The
All
story.
right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
Ok, vamos seguir aqui então. Ei, aqui não é o lugar de antes. Oba, paciência. Adoro paciência. Game confuso, né? Demais.
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay. Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office, in fact, the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct?
This guy gets it.
Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Nice. Ah, musiqueira, pô. Tem que seguir, tem que seguir. Não pode se distrair. A música tá muito alta, assim, pra mim também. Oh, musiqueira, hein? Cara, se eu não seguir a linha, eu corro o risco de me perder.
Cut the music, go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story.
Ok.
Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Ok. Vou lembrar dela. Printou pra mim? Obrigada.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Ei!
Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Well, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
No!
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Oh. Vamos tentar.
Now, Yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well,
Tô começando a gostar do narrador, assim, meu amigo.
Go wild. Use
Me
your
and Stanley,
imagination. Whatever it
best
might
friends
be, Stanley,
forever.
I'm ready for it.
He's a nice guy. He's an overall nice guy.
Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
Diz que eu não posso pisar na linha, senão... I'll be friends with Stanley too, me too. Ah não, a linha tá tentando... Cara, a linha saiu do teto, ela saiu do duto de ventilação. Que negócio assustador. Eu vou embora. Eu não quero...
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity.
Ah,
in
meu
fact,
Deus.
I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere.
Fechem os olhos pra não
Which
ficar
means that
enjoados.
somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts,
Fechem os
the
olhos.
door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Jogar o Beginner's Guide do mesmo criador desse jogo, ele é muito interessante, mas é bem mais sério do que o Stanley. Eita, The Confusion Ending.
Hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this
Onde eu
goes?
parei?
It's all determined?
Eu parei aqui.
So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply
Não,
because
tem
it's
tipo...
written here on this
Cada dos
thing.
vermelhos tem os pretos under.
Well,
Tipo, a gente
who
tá aqui
consulted me?
aqui
Why
no
don't I get to
quarto.
decide? Why don't
Narrator
I get a
restarts
say
the
in all of this?
game.
Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination, so I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime...
Ah!
All of his co-workers were gone.
Quer dizer que o narrador agora esqueceu, a gente tá
Stanley
no
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had
No
simply missed a memo.
quinto. Ok. Aí vai acontecer um monte de coisa. A gente... O final é tipo, eventually Stanley dies. Subir na mesa? Já subi. Não. Eu subi já uma vez. Eu subi já quando tava querendo o... Já subi, já desci. Ah, o do começo?
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Ah, não consigo subir. Is there a way outside into the wide void? I'll find it. Eventually. Sobe na mesa. Não é aqui que sobe, eu não tô conseguindo. Não é isso aqui que sobe. Eu acho que é na outra sala. Na 3. Aqui? Não, ó. Não tô conseguindo, não. Consegui. Oh, okay. It's my life now. Eu não tenho pé, né? Então eu não sei como é que eu chego nos lugares, porque eu não sei onde é que eu tô pra começar. Obrigada aí, Dune. Obrigada aí pelo sub. Então, eu não consigo, eu não sei onde exatamente eu tô pra subir, tá vendo? Eu quero seguir em frente, mas eu não... Ó, caí. Tipo, dá pra subir assim aqui, né? Cara, o também não tem pé, né? É complicado. Eu não sei onde é que eu tô. Where am I? I don't know. Am I stepping on this thingy? I don't know. Tem que se agachar pra passar por aqui? Eu não sei agachar. Não sei agachar. Qual é o botão? No control? Ah. Ok. Ok, how do I... Did I jump?
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
Are you sick of this gag? Yes.
Well, I don't know how to say this politely, but you could literally just hit escape and restart the game any old time you want. Like, right now. You could have done it just then. Now would also be an appropriate time to quit. Any of these points and so many, many more, all of them are appropriate. I'm enjoying what seems to be an internal conflict going on where you are literally unable to act on your own desires to restart the game. So, just to push the envelope, I'm going to try and make this as miserable as possible and see how long you can maintain.
Ele vai tentar deixar o jogo...
There once was a man named Stanley, who people considered so manly. But the truth must be told,
It's
he was
awful.
not very old and was quite particularly
Cara, eu tenho que
vain.
aguentar
What Stanley liked
sem
most
quitar.
was buttons. He pushed them like some kind of glutton. He did it all day in a meaningful way, but his brain had long ceased to function. Which is why he is in this parable and lives an existence.
Ele tá fazendo rimas pra me fazer fechar o
And if you are
jogo.
not strong and keep
É uma prova de
playing
resistência.
along, you too
Assim, com essa
will
flashbang ainda
become
por
quite
cima.
unbearable. You too will become quite unbearable.
He's trying to make me go crazy. Vou mandar uma mensagem no zap pra minha mãe. Aproveitar aqui enquanto isso, sim, minha mãe disse que vem aqui me visitar. Ela perguntou, você quer feijão? Quero. Quero sim. Um beijo. Não tem nada em volta. Cara, não tem nada, não consigo fazer nada.
Tylko jedno w głowie mam, koksu 5 gram.
Yes, ok. Vou abrir aqui meu WhatsApp. Vamos ver o que eu tenho que responder ninguém. Quanto tempo fica nisso? Não sei. Vamos responder minhas mensagens enquanto eu... Obrigada aí, JDMA. Obrigada aí. Thank you very much. Só mais 17 minutos? Sério? Oh boy. Maybe we should just stay here for the rest of the stream, I agree. I'm answering people, like... I'm trying to see if I have something to do. Eu vou responder comentários no... Ó, Pera aí que aconteceu alguma coisa. Olá? Ele mudou de música. Hello? Para! Tá me confundindo.
Hi, doggy.
Vamos responder comentários no meu Instagram. Enquanto a gente espera.
Very impressive.
Dá tempo de fazer um lanche, né? Se vocês querem fazer um lanche, a gente pode fazer um lanche. E como é que vocês estão? Estão bem? How are you guys? Então, é infinito agora? Sério? O quão infinito é infinito? A gente tem que estabelecer isso. O quão infinito é infinito? É tipo, forever? Ou assim... I feel like you should have got an achievement or something. I'm not really sure. Maybe only when infinity passes by. É um teste de resistência? Ah, cansei. Meu olho tá doendo já. Será que se eu trocar a tela ele entende? Fine, eu vou dar ask. Eu dei ask, ó. Fica mais de 5 minutos? Eita, achei uma janela. Quer dizer que eu achei a parede do lugar. Eu tô andando aqui, ó. É, foi onde eu pulei. Não tem nada aqui, tipo, não tem um caminho, sabe? Posso morar aqui agora. Deixa eu ver se eu consegui um achievement. Conquistas. Não consegui nada, não. Enquanto vocês fiquem aí, eu vou fazer pipi, tá? Be right back. Agora vocês fiquem aí ouvindo o... Só reiniciando agora, eu vou fazer pipi. Voltei. Vocês estão presos no Item Mode? Eu vou sair. Recomeçar, então? Será que eu terminei? Será que contou? Cara, eu nem lembro como eu cheguei ali. Ah, eu pulei pela janela. Ué, já?
Stanley mandou R$5. Por favor, reinicie. Meus olhos estão ardendo. Ele vai me matar assim.
Não recebi nenhuma conquista. E obrigada aí, Stanley. Agora eu vou entrar pela esquerda. Agora eu já fiz as coisas que estão ali do outro lado. Eu vou entrar aqui. Cheguei aqui na meeting room. Vou subir na mesa. Não sei não.
Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Coisas a fazer. Um monte de buzzwords.
Oh no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time.
Eu sei, eu gosto de estar aqui, assim, é divertido, tem um monte de coisa. Eu já entendi, não tem nada grosso. Me fechei aqui dentro. Agora essa é a minha casa. Estão fazendo uma versão deluxe desse jogo já faz 3 anos.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Subir aqui de novo pra sala do chefe. Aqui tem um banheiro, né? O banheiro. Eu queria saber quantos finais eu já fiz. De curiosidade. Input received. Ah, então eu tenho que achar os computadores e dar um input nos computadores que estão com isso. Entendi. Ah, é, tem o escape agora, é verdade.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had
Obrigada aí, Red. Obrigada pelo sub.
Pin number 284. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy. So he relaxed for a few moments with some calming new age music.
Pô, fui pega no flagra. Agora eu tenho que relaxar com a música New Age.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Obrigada aí, Tavio. Sorry. Obrigada aí, Tavião, pelo sub. Thank you. Você, gente. Agora eu vou pro escape. E aí eu acho que são os lugares que eu, assim... Eu acho que de finais óbvios, que são só tipo escolhas, acho que eu terminei. Não sei se depois do escape... Ah, tem coisa pra fazer na sala, né?
Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself.
Você é mais da Sony igual pra mim? Não sei, sabia? Pode ser.
Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This
Pode ser.
question would not go unanswered for long.
I say, hey, I say, hey.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Vou pro escape. Agora.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, The truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Vamos lá. Let's meet a violent death.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Cara, que eu vou literalmente descer pro inferno aqui. Como é que eu entro aqui? Não sei. Ah, entrei. Entrei no inferno, sem querer. Obrigada, senhor Leaf. Obrigada. Au. Lembra quando não tinha mais gravidade no mundo?
Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise. He reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
No, I'm going to die. Que final danganronpa.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Totalmente danganronpa esse final, né? De uma Big Machine fazendo tá, tá, tá. Peraí, eu tô vendo tem um final, tem alguma coisa aqui. The Stanley Parable.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
Entrei no mundo Nier Automata aqui.
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Estava morto desde o começo. The Office. Tem os assets aqui assim, no museu, numa exposição. Button sounds. Aqui. Cada som dos botões é uma mix de um keyboard stroke e um som synthesized. Aqui tem uma maquete. Aqui as nature paintings. Cara, 100% um stainless computer. É 100% um museu, assim, das coisas do... Filing cabinets. Office computers. Credits. Gostei do museu. The office. Maintenance room. Am I going crazy? Maybe it isn't the same image that... Was it? Clock. there before. I don't remember. How do I go back? Can you check for me? Warzone? Eu não vim aqui ainda. Early in development, we designed an ending where Stanley would end up in a battlefield fighting aliens. The action game would become sentient and would wage war against the narrator. Realized shortly after starting to build it that was far too jokey and on the nose for the tone of the game. Plus some people interpreted as it making fun of people who like shooters, which was not our intention. Ah, legal. A tradução é que ele tá falando que, tipo assim, no começo do desenvolvimento do jogo, eles tinham feito uma fase que era uma war zone, né, uma zona de guerra, que o Stanley estaria lutando com aliens. Só que eles acharam que era muito, assim, a piada era muito óbvia e podia ser interpretada como fazendo, making fun, zoando pessoas que gostavam de shooters. Então eles scripted essa ideia. It was far too jokey and on the nose for the tone of the game. Seria muito... esse aqui é tipo o brainstorm das fases do jogo. O que tem aqui? Depois que eles estrearam o segundo trailer do jogo, eles pediram para as pessoas mandarem e-mail pro narrador para fazerem perguntas. E aí eles tinham planejado colocar essas perguntas no material promocional do jogo, só que aí eles nunca fizeram isso. Então aqui tem uns e-mails que foram recebidos. Jogar o Stanley Parable vai me ajudar a fazer amigos? Não tenho amigos. Como é que você digita com luvas de golfe, luvas de boxe? Legal, legal. Will the game feature capivaras? Vai ter capivara no jogo? O que mais? Mais Stanley? Você tá me espiando? Você tá espionando? Me espionando? O que mais? The Office. Uma versão preliminar aqui de como seria. O escritório. The Cargo Lift. Aí eles falam as modificações que eles fizeram nos... Cara, como é que eu vim parar aqui mesmo? Eu nem me lembro mais. Caraca, esse museu é muito grande. Esse museu é muito grande. Eu não vim aqui ainda. These levers were originally part of the ending. The player would pull a lever and the narrator would describe a color lever they pulled. Zending. The screenshot depicts an early version of the ending known as the Zending, which was eventually cut and merged with another part of the game. Aqui o botão do bebê. Tem um Among Us ali, né? Opa! Trailers! Quer dizer que eles lançaram 4 trailers ao longo do development do jogo. Aí aqui tem os trailers. Pull the lever, Kronk! I don't think I can pull the levers. No, I can't. Let me see. The game is now paused. Aqui uma tela... que eles tinham uma early tela do jogo. O que mais a gente tem aqui? Então, I wanna leave. I wanna go home. Aqui... One option. Aqui são... Peraí. Que decidiram qual vai ser o design do não sei o que. Eu quero ir embora. Tem um timer aqui. Eu quero ir embora. Aqui são os e-mails. Subindo aqui eu não vim ainda. Tá muito meta, eu tô ficando assustada. Stanley's Office. Dá pra tirar o telefone da tomada? Looks like my vacation was fun. What was my favorite part? I think chilling on the sea. That was pretty fun. Sadly, it rained a lot during the vacation time, so I couldn't enjoy as much as I wanted to, but it was pretty fun. Tem tá aqui é o lugar onde eles... Que é isso? Aqui é o elevador. Olha, Freedom Ending. É o que a gente fez. Eu tô tentando fazer todas as salas do museu pra eu conseguir ir embora. Talvez se eu descobrir todos os segredos aqui, eles me deixam ir embora. Reseta o jogo. Office Clock. Eu voltei pro começo. Droga, lost. Again. Tá, subir, subir, subir. Sobe, sobe, sobe. Aqui, exit.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
A vida do narrador tá sendo narrada também. 2 é o Stanley e o narrador. I bet. Desliguei.
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen.
Fim jogo.
But listen to me.
Eita.
You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice.
Ah, meu Deus.
Do choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time...
Oi. Ó o nervoso. Droga, foi uma sala de novo. Essa é tipo a terceira vez que ele tenta me matar e eu não morro. Ué, cadê minha vida agora? Au? Era pra sair? Não, já era. Eu queria ver quantos... Aqui, opa. Dá pra salvar? Salvar. Ah, como é que salva? Não sei como salva. Não sei como é que salva. Ah, pronto. Então, eu não sei, mas...
Stanley knew the office layout like the back of his hand. It was only a matter of time before he found the others, wherever they were. Just a matter of time.
If you only speak English, that's fine. And very basic Spanish, I can't even speak basic Spanish. You enjoyed the stream though, thank you. We have been playing Stanley Parable for a while now. I'm not sure if I know how to finish the game. I'm just stuck forever in the office. Forever, forever, forever. Forever presa no... Como é que eu me tranco aqui, assim? Fecha a porta.
Oh, and I guess this is where Stanley felt he needed to be right now, in this little hallway. Here, with no distractions, to study room 417. Not to actually enter it. No, 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 no. That would be far too forward. Stanley wanted to know it from the outside. To see it not just with his eyes, but with his heart. He would know room 417 as no man or woman had ever known an office before. That ladder over there. Oh, and that little picture of a horizon or something. It's all just a never-ending parade of joy for Stanley.
Aren't you a funny guy? I guess you're funny, honey. I'm leaving.
Ah, no, apparently not.
Que plataforma pra subir? Qual é a da plataforma? Eu vou ficar me trancando assim nos lugares forever. Beleza. Aqui a gente já fez tudo, eu acho. Mas aqui tem só... Aqui... Aqui eu pulo já. Ah, não. Eu não consegui pular na van, não. A do telefone pra tirar da tomada? Como é que faz isso mesmo? Alguém me lembra? Aqui eu vou entrar no... Ah, eu fiz o escape, né? Eu vou... O jogo tá me impedindo. Ele ficou bravo que eu fiquei entrando over and over ali. Eu caí na van e morri. Agora eu vou fazer entrar na sala das televisões de novo. E a samambaia, né? Ela não voltou. A samambaia.
Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Kill surprise.
Então, esse jogo ele tinha 2 horas, mas ao mesmo tempo ele tem muitas horas. As escadas a gente já desceu e já viu o que tem lá embaixo. Tá, vamos descer de novo. E agora eu vou apertar outro botão. O do telefone é pela direita quando segue o elevador de carga. Beleza, beleza. Me lembra de fazer isso quando a gente for pro outro lado. Agora eu vou nesse aqui que tem a sala do Mind Control.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Não, o narrador já chutou o pau da barraca, né? Ele tá tipo assim, é mesmo? Tá bom então.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Tipo, é isso mesmo. Pô, no final eu também quero o Stanley e o narrador, assim, juntos pra acabar com whatever isso aqui é.
Jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building. Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced.
Tem algum true ending que eu consigo assim só fazendo todos?
Eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Você também queria que tivesse um final? Não tem? Poxa. Voltamos aqui à sala do arquiteto. Cara, eu acho que assim, novamente o final são os amigos que a gente fez ao longo do caminho, sabe? O final é sempre o processo, né? O processo já é um final em si. Eu também achei a vibe do Please Don't Touch Anything bem parecida mesmo.
Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Eu meti o final do One Piece, é verdade. Não existe, no final das contas, não tem uma grand line, né? No final é só
controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad,
os nakamas do meio do caminho.
Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place.
Eu tô falando bot, mas eu vou tentar apertar outro botão agora.
Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert.
Obrigada aí, Hotek. Obrigada pelo sub. Thank you.
For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Mind Control Status Offline. Eu tô procurando outro PC também pra eu apertar. E falta o final, ou sei lá o que, aquele do input, né? Aquele que é um input. Esses botões aqui não são nada. Ele é um botão design pra você apertar ele. Ele não é nada. Ele só quer que você aperte o botão. E aqui não tem lugar pra ir, né? Só aqui mesmo. Enfim, eu tô procurando outro PC que tenha aquela opção do input pra eu colocar. Não, eu acho que o final do Ondo West, que é na sala do Danganronpa, não é nada. É só você realmente recomeçar. Eu não acho que tem alguma coisa. Ou tem? Podem falar, se quem souber. Acho que aqui não tem nada.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his due. Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you?
Sorry.
After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control?
Yeah.
Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes. Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated. All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock.
Hey, valeu.
These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees.
Eu não sei brincar nesse jogo.
What's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you, running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones, or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Problem solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge, it's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't.
No!
Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
Oi. Hello? Oi. Deixa eu ver aqui. Como é que eu vejo os ativos? Não sei, não dá pra ver. Voltamos às eleições. Acho que foi o final, né? Eu também acho que sim. Alô, mosh. E esse aqui, né? Que tem um monte de papel.
Stanley had never seen the office this brightly lit. Was it a sign of something? He hoped it was. He hoped very much that it was.
Cara, e a galera que ficou copiando aqui forever e sujou o negócio todo. Eu também acho que tem um final com a sala com esses papéis, sabe? Que dá pra, tipo, fazer alguma coisa que... Opa, mais um. Opa! Falta mais, sei lá, mais uma vez pra eu conseguir fazer esse... Escreve face punch? Que isso? Que diabo é um face punch? Esse boneco feio? Cara, como é que você descobre isso? Pois é. Você estragou meu jogo agora. Você estragou meu jogo.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Pô, você estragou meu jogo. Agora eu vou...
This was not the correct way to the meeting
Tá, agora eu
room,
vou
and
pra
Stanley
fazer
knew it
aquele do
perfectly
telefone.
well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Nossa, estragou meu jogo.
And
Até
here it was,
minha sala
the
tá feia
lounge.
agora.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Onde é que é? Acho que é pra cá, né? Pra cá.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Ah, o Face Punch é o nome da empresa que fez o Gary's Mod. Ah, e o Rush, entendi.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong
Vou fazer agora do
foot
telefone.
here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time.
Agora,
There's
depois do
someone
telefone,
you've
tem
been
algum que eu não tenha
neglecting,
feito ainda?
Stanley. Someone you've forgotten.
São 17 que me falaram,
Please,
mas eu...
stop trying to make every decision by yourself.
Eu também acho que isso vai
I'm not
bugar
asking
alguma
for me,
coisa.
I'm asking for her.
Porque
This
agora o
is
bonequinho vai
Stanley.
ficar
Your chance to redeem
todo
yourself.
esquisito.
To put your work aside, to let her back into your life.
Eu pareço a Rebecca do Resident
She's been
Evil.
waiting.
Nice, thank you. Vou tirar do tomado.
That's her, Stanley. You
Vai falar comigo, não.
No, you can't. Did you just unplug the phone? No, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person. I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well,
Sorry
I won't
about
have
me.
that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person. But if used incorrectly, can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Stephen has a choice. He could spend years helping improve the quality of life for citizens of impoverished third world nations. Or he could systematically set fire to every orphan living in a 30-kilometer radius of his house. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack." Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process.
Oh, agora tem...
Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Okay.
Ah, welcome back. You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction.
Sorry.
But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
Ok. De novo, fazer a escolha certa agora. Vendedor! Eu tô bem? Eu tô sendo lectured por uma voz. Eu tô indo pra onde? Não sei. É pra ir pra onde agora? Não sei. Ah, a escolha foi ir pra porta errada. Tá, vamos voltar então.
Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying.
Ei, botaram uma...
character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
Obrigado. Agora eu tenho que seguir o que tinha que ser feito, senão... Voltei pra cá. Agora foi pra onde? Hello.
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world.
Thank you. Now wait.
Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine.
Okay.
All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
A cara de quem?
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
Make me. É, bugou. Fui ousado demais aqui. Estraguei o jogo. De novo. Sorry. Não, acho que não tinha código na porta, não. Tá. Pronto. Vim pro lugar certo agora. Entrei aqui na...
It's ruined. I can't believe, after everything we talked about, that my story, you've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever, reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the game down. I have to. I have to.
Ei! Ei! É que ele desligou mesmo o jogo? Não, de novo eu tô no mundo...
Oh, I'm here. I'm
Hello.
still here in this pile of rubbish. With you. You, who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you? You're a child. Oh, my story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Boa noite, presidente. Obrigada aí, Murilo, pelo resub.
Quickly, hurry.
Acho que ele quer que eu... Acho que não tem como eu...
Exactly as Stanley
Deixa eu ficar repetindo, assim, vamos mudar de novo. Boa noite, boa noite.
I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right.
Agora tem que fazer essa mesmo.
When
Senão vai ficar
Stanley came to
repetindo.
a set of 2 open doors,
He entered the door
on his left.
Pronto. Assim, essa é a Dark Faye, pois é. Ah, tá certinho agora.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Okay, so far so good, right?
Coming to a staircase, Stanley
não dá pra
walked
descer
upstairs
aqui
to his
nessa.
boss's office.
Opa, agora dá pra entrar no banheiro, será? Trocou a placa, tinha Executive Bathroom, não tem mais. Agora, ué, tá diferente.
Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Night Shark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
Night Shark 115. Night Shark 115. Night Shark 115.
Stanley spoke the code. Night Shark.
Tá, não é na vida real, sorry.
He spoke it into the receiver, right there on the wall.
Não é na vida real. Night Shark 115. Night Shark 115.
I'm sorry, is there a problem? You didn't mishear me, did you? Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise we can't get on with the story.
Eu não sei falar. Meu boneco não fala. Meu boneco não fala. Night Shark 115.
Okay, fine. You're not gonna do it. But you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward.
Sorry.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Caraca.
Stanley? Hello?
please. I need you to make a choice. I need you to walk through the door.
The end.
Are you listening to me?
Thank you for playing Stanley Parable.
Is everything all right? Stanley, this is important. The story needs you. It needs you to make a decision.
Eita.
It cannot exist without you. Do you understand me?
You understand
whatever
me?
Choice you make is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do. I simply
Stanley,
need you to take
tá.
that step forward, please. Choose. Do something. Anything. This is more important than you can ever know. I need this. The story needs it.
Oh, nadou, tá triste.
You hear me? Are you there? Are you listening to this? Stanley, are you there? Okay.
They need each other to exist.
You need time to decide.
Vou ver a cara dele.
Sure your choice is correct. That is the best choice.
Ah, ele é bonitinho, I guess. Não.
I'll wait for you to decide what's the right thing to do. Take as much time as you need.
É esse que você tem que jogar, deixar por 5 anos aqui. Epa. Vamos ver o que acontece agora. Welcome, Stanley, to heaven. É o pesadelo do daltônico isso aqui. Esse aqui é o pesadelo do daltônico. Essa é a minha casa agora. I cannot see. Esse aqui é o infame jogo do Twister. Deixar tudo da mesma cor? I'm literally colorblind. Será que tem que? Como é que eu troco a cor? Não sei trocar a cor. Vou apagar todas. Vou desligar todas elas. Pô, vou trabalhar, hein? Vamos lá. Vou apagar tudo aqui. Faltou uma aqui. Tem tomada? Será? Caraca, é muita cor, olha isso. Well, I'm in heaven. Mas é isso? É onde tem que desligar agora? É infinito? Ok, agora eu dou aquele ask. Bom, consegui o final dos inputs, né? O final de... Ué, não deu certo? Aqui, ó. Input received, eu vou pro... É, o céu do cara é apertar um monte de botão pra sempre, né? É, forever no céu dos botões. Eu quero só ver se tem como ver os... Não os créditos. Eu quero saber se tem como ver os achievements que eu tenho. Uau. Pô, tem 10 achievements, eu consegui só 3. Aqui, ó. Falta um... Speedrun. Complete Stanley Parable in under 4 minutes. Commitment. Play the Stanley Parable for the entire duration of a Tuesday. Don't play Stanley Parable for 5 years. E assim, unachievable. It's impossible to get this achievement. E o outro que é You can't jump. No, seriously, we disabled it. E outro que é tipo 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8. É só, tipo, vários números 8, assim. No... Ok, I think that's it. I went to heaven. Assim, eu fui pro céu, né? Eu acho que eu terminei. Acho que eu terminei. Né? Assim, foi literalmente fim do jogo, né? Eu ganhei, tipo, um The End. E eu fui pro céu também, né? Fim de jogo. A samambaia? Então, esse final da janela eu pulei já da janela. Oh, thank you. Tem esse achievement que você pegava conversando com algum dev no bar. Caraca, tem um bar na vida real ou na vida do jogo? Bom, é isso. Agora eu vou fechar o jogo pra começar aí meu achievement dos 5 anos. E eu vejo vocês em 5 anos. Adeus. Fim jogo. Muito bom o joguinho do... Vou botar um alarme aqui no celular, né? Tipo, daqui a 5 anos ele vai me lembrar de pegar o achievement. Engraçado que todo mundo aqui tá esperando esse achievement, né? Eu vi a galera falando, não vou abrir por conta disso. Um amigo meu mandou uma mensagem pra mim falando, tô te vendo jogar Stanley Parable. Meu save já tem mais de 5 anos, mas eu tenho medo de abrir e resetar. Ele falou aqui, o tempo já passou, mas tenho medo de não ganhar. Você não entendeu nada do jogo? É uma coisa meio metafísica, assim. Mas muito bom o jogo. Eu não sei se eu terminei, mas eu acho que sim. Eu fiz, sei lá, eu ganhei um The End e eu também fui pro céu. Então eu acho que eu ganhei. É meio Dark Fantasy, sabe? Você não entenderia. Você tem que ser, tipo, muito Dark Fantasy pra você entender. Brincadeira. Enfim, conceitão, né? Eu ganhei a liberdade e eu terminei o jogo moralmente, com certeza. Eu fiz... Você apenas sente a experiência. Gostei. Very good. E, assim, eu não tenho nem o que falar do jogo, porque o narrador, ele já falou tudo que eu falaria, né? Ele falou, tipo assim, Você acha que você tem livre-arbítrio? Tudo que você tá fazendo aqui, eu sabia que você ia fazer, e aí você não tá fazendo só porque você quer implicar comigo. É verdade. Então, nada que eu fale vai ser novidade pro narrador. Ele, inclusive, falou, tipo assim, nossa, você está admirando o quanto esse jogo quebra com as expectativas narrativas, né? Exatamente isso. Como é que ele sabia? Então é isso, eu falei absolutamente... porque você foi na sala que não foi desenvolvida? Você quer me ver triste? Você acha legal você entrar na sala que não foi desenvolvida? Você acha que você é inteligente por fazer isso? Ele mandou várias dessas, assim... Você acha que você é muito transgressor aí por fazer as coisas que... Poxa, tá bom então. E é isso, ele falou tudo que eu tinha pra falar sobre o jogo. Ele quebra expectativas narrativas, ele mexe com o que significa... o que é uma experiência, né? Ele falou de experiência subjetiva naquele momento, do que é realidade. É isso. Você achou que quebrou o jogo saindo por uma janela, mas você não esperava que isso era uma coisa do jogo também. Nota pro jogo? Narrador de 10. Very good, quero que você seja meu amigo. No final das contas, a conclusão do jogo era que o Stanley e o narrador, eles precisam um do outro para sobreviver, né? Não existe narrador sem Stanley e Stanley sem narrador. Então a experiência... da realidade, ela só existe enquanto tem o narrador e o Stanley. Eu fiquei muito triste que ele ficou sozinho no último ending. Pois o Stanley tá ali, assim... Ele não faz nenhuma escolha, mas o narrador falou que ele vai... que ele vai esperar por quanto tempo o Stanley precisar, mas aqui a gente controlava o Stanley, né? Eu gostei quando ele descobriu que era uma pessoa de verdade. Ele falou assim, ei, você está quebrando expectativas. Você é uma pessoa de verdade? E aí ele me deu me passou um videozinho de como fazer escolhas. Faça escolhas inteligentes e escolhas que façam sentido. E aí, bom, foi legal essa parte. Muito bom, gostei bastante. Quebrando a quarta, quinta, sexta parede, todas as paredes. E eu mal posso esperar aí pelo novo jogo daí, deles com fazer com mais finais, né? Uma Deluxe Edition. Muito bom. Vou apertar aqui o botão. Adeus. Atualmente eu tô advogando? Não. Eu não consigo sair, consigo sair. Pronto. Até daqui a 5 anos, pois é. Nos vemos daqui a 5 anos. Nice game, gostei. É sempre divertido. Agora eu vou olhar o Beginner's Guide depois, vou sim. É sempre divertido jogar esses joguinhos que quebram expectativas. O Please Don't Touch Anything foi bem legal também. Gostei bastante. Já pensou eu com aquele martelinho de juiz nas lives? Aprovado ou não aprovado? Aprovado, não aprovado, aprovado. Acho que nenhum jogo eu reprovei até agora. Tirando, sei lá, Candidatos Kart, que foi muito ruim. Então, enfim. É isto. E é com isso e o Inside So Goose Game, que eu fiquei chateada. Mas é isso que eu tenho pra dizer pra vocês hoje. É isso que a gente tem pra jogar juntos hoje. Eu vou começar aqueles procedimentos espertos de raid.